Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am Anthony Gamer, and I am Humphrey the Wolf. Today we're going to be discussing some rare and valuable games for the Magnavox Odyssey 2, as well as some prototypes for that system. In the previous episode, I went into great detail about the game system itself. That's correct. The Magnavox Odyssey 2 had a life from about 77, 78, something like that. And it ran until about 1984-85. Correct. As other game systems such as the ColecoVision and Television and the Atari 2600 were dominating the video game market at that time, the Magnavox Odyssey itself did hold its own with those other game systems, as it was featured as a learning tool, which it was, honestly, as if you've seen... Oh, let's show them that picture. Alright, if you look at the picture right here above Humphrey's head, you'll see that the game console itself came with a keyboard, and so therefore it came with quite a few learning games that some of the other game systems at the time wouldn't be able to do. Aside from having some of the great edutainment games that, as you said, the other game systems couldn't have, it also had some pretty cool games, even though the games themselves didn't have the same graphics that the Atari 2600 would have, per se. The games themselves were quite fun. Matter of fact, some of them were, I would say, in legendary status. I couldn't say it better myself. And like some of the other game systems from then and now, some of the games that were released for the system were kind of valuable. However, unlike some other game systems like the Atari 2600, for example, there weren't a lot of really valuable games. As a matter of fact, today's list is going to feature games that are price valued at around $50 and up. Even the game system itself is not extremely valuable, as the average price for one out of the package and working is roughly around $40. I myself purchased a fully functioning and working MO2, excuse me, I was going to say, what were you talking about? I don't know. And from someone, and he only charged me $50. And it still had the package, the box itself. The box, of course, wasn't in the best shape, but still. So for collectors, you know, the Magnavox Odyssey 2 is not a system that's going to be of high value, but for retro gamers who would like to get one again, that they had one when they were younger, or someone who's never had one and would like to try it, it's not going to be a very large investment. Just to let you know before we get started, this is kind of a disclaimer, that the prices we are going to quote you on are average. We've done research all over the internet, and sometimes the prices may be more or maybe less. These are just average prices, and we are basing this list solely on loose cartridges. As many of you know, just about anything still in the package is pretty valuable. Correct. So without further ado, let's discuss some of the rare and valuable games for the Magnavox Odyssey 2.
And our first game today is Popeye. This was released only in Europe, as the game system in Europe was called the Philips Video Pack Computer. And as you can see, it's not as good as some of the other ports of the game, but keep in mind that you had a lot less memory to work with. As this game was only released in Europe and was not released in large quantities, it is a little on the valuable side. A loose cart alone will run you around $50. Okay, and next up we have Super Cobra. This also was a European-only release. It is a port of an arcade game, actually the port of the sequel to the game Scramble, to be honest with you. This game is also a little on the valuable side, as finding a loose cart will run you around $50. Next game we have needs no introduction, and that is Atlantis, that was by Magic. Now, this game was released all over the world in just about every game system imaginable, but it is the Magnavox Odyssey 2 version that is a little on the rare and valuable side. If you find it in cart format, be prepared to spend around $60. And next up we have another game that does not need an introduction. That is Q*bert from Parker Brothers. This game has been ported out to just about every game system, computer system in the world. However, the European release of this game was a little on the valuable side. A loose cart will run you right around $60. Next up we have Power Lords. Do you remember the cartoon series and the line of toys and all that stuff? No? Well, nobody really does. Anyway, the game was also supposed to be released for the Atari 2600, but it wasn't. However, this version was, and if you are interested in purchasing it, a cart will run you around $70. And our most valuable game for the Magnavox Odyssey 2 is Commando Noturno. This is the version from Brazil, as it was released in other countries in the world under different titles. It's a pretty cool space shooter game. It's kind of like their version of Flight Simulator and Star Master. The game itself is a little on the valuable side. Just a loose cart alone will run you around $70 to $80.
So, some of the prototypes we're going to discuss are prototypes from other parts of the world. In other words, the game was set to be released only in Brazil, but was not released at all. Now, some of these prototypes can be were dumped and can be readily available. Others of them are only available on special Magnavox Odyssey 2 multi-carts or special collections. So we're going to try to talk about the ones that are more easily available.
And our first prototype for today is Robot City. This game was set to be released in Europe, and it was canceled for some reason. Usually, we'll just assume it was because of the video game crash, just so we get that clear. Oh, righto. In this game, you take on the role of a robot security guard, and you are trying to protect the city from these evil aliens. The game is fully functional and playable, and is quite a bit of fun. Next up we have Martian Threat. Now this game was actually found in the Netherlands, and it was later on discovered that the game was called Martian Threat. I'm not sure if the game is quite finished, as I really can't figure it out. I can't either. But yet it is a pretty cool work in progress, I think, if it ever does get finished. Next up, we have Shark Hunter. This was set to be released in Europe. In this game, you take on the role of an Inuit who is trying to save his fishing nets from these nasty sharks. It's a pretty cool game, honestly, and it's a shame that it wasn't released, although it is readily available in ROM format. Now, many of you are probably familiar with the Atari 2600 game Spider-Man that was released by Parker Brothers. Did you know that there was a version of it completed and ready to go for the Magnavox Odyssey 2? Well, you're looking at it right here, as unfortunately it was not released. However, the ROM itself is available and is fully playable, just like the 2600 version. And our final game for today is Tutankhamun. Most people are familiar with the 2600 version of this game and the arcade. However, there was a version that was finished and ready to go, just like the Spider-Man game we just looked at. It's fully functional and playable and readily available everywhere in ROM format.
So in closing, I'd like to agree with my friend Humphrey here in saying that the Magnavox Odyssey 2 was a very underrated game system and had some great games both on the entertainment side and on edutainment side. If you hadn't had a chance to check out some of these great games, go out and check them out. You won't be disappointed. And
in our next episode, we're going back to the sports arena, as we will be discussing boxing games.
well, that brings us to the end of another episode of Classic Gamer 74. I really hope you all enjoyed it. I did. Well, you enjoy talking about the MO2 any chance you get. No, that is true. And if you did enjoy today's episode, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and click that little bell icon down there so you'll be notified when we upload new episodes. Incidentally, have you guys noticed the hat I'm wearing? It is a custom design for this channel. Would you like to find out how to purchase one? Let me know in the comments section below, as I'm going to be starting some new merchandise to help support this channel. So let me know if you're interested. Well, until next time, I'm Anthony Gamer, and I am Humphrey the Wolf, and we will see you all in the next episode. Until next time, be strong, be safe, be healthy, be happy, and above all, take care of each other, be kind to each other, and we will see you all next time. Till then, see ya. Bye. Bye, everyone.